Hey, I'm a 70-year-old grandpa, and a few years ago, I felt invisible to my grown kids. They'd cut me off mid-sentence, dismiss my advice, and it stung. Sound familiar? When your kids don't respect you, it's like losing a piece of your family. It hurts. But here's the truth. You can change that. I've been there, and I've learned it's not about arguing or pleading. It's about small, powerful steps that shift how they see you. Today, I'm sharing 7 proven ways seniors like us can rebuild that respect. These aren't guesses, they're backed by psychology and real stories from folks just like you. From setting boundaries to living a vibrant life, these steps will strengthen your family ties. And trust me, the last one's a lifeline you'll wish you knew sooner. Ready to take back your voice and rebuild those connections? I'm with you. Subscribe now and comment "I'm ready" below to join me on this journey. Let's dive in and rediscover the respect you deserve, starting with a simple change that works wonders. Let's kick off with way number 1. Set clear boundaries and enforce them. This is huge. Many seniors let their grown kids walk all over them, interrupting, dismissing, or demanding our time like we're at their beck and call. I get it. You love them, and you don't want to rock the boat. But here's the problem. When you let those moments slide, it erodes respect fast. It's like giving them permission to treat you as less than the wise, strong person you are. I've been there. And it feels awful. But here's the good news. Boundaries can change everything. Studies in family psychology, like one from the Journal of Family Psychology in 2023, show that clear boundaries foster mutual respect. When you draw a line and stick to it, your kids start seeing you as someone who values himself, and they follow suit. I learned this the hard way. A few years ago, my son would criticize my choices, what I wore, how I spent my days. It hurt, and I'd stay quiet to keep the peace. Then I met Anna, a 72-year-old firecracker at a community center. She told me how she handled her son. He'd dismiss her opinions, so she said, "I won't visit if you keep talking over me." It wasn't easy, but she stood firm. Within weeks, he started listening, really listening. Her story hit me like a lightning bolt. I realized I was letting my son's behavior slide because I didn't want conflict. But silence wasn't helping either of us. So, here's what you do. Set clear boundaries and enforce them. Start small. Next time your child interrupts, say, "I expect respect when we talk. Please let me finish." Keep your voice calm, but firm. If they keep interrupting, pause, look them in the eye, and wait. It's powerful. If they cross bigger lines, like dismissing your feelings or demanding your time, set a consequence. For example, if you keep criticizing my decisions, I'll need to take a break from our calls for a bit. Then follow through. It's not about punishment, it's about showing you value yourself. I tried this with my son. The first time I paused and said, "Let me finish," he was surprised, but he stopped. Over time, our talks got better. He started asking my opinion instead of brushing me off. You might be thinking, what if they get upset? That's normal. Change feels uncomfortable at first. But psychology tells us consistency builds respect. If you waver, they'll revert to old habits, so stick to it. One trick that helped me was joining AARP's family discussion forums. They're full of seniors sharing tips on handling grown kids. You can find similar groups online or at community centers for practical tips. Those conversations gave me the confidence to keep my boundaries firm. This isn't about pushing your kids away. It's about pulling them closer with respect. When you show you're serious about your worth, they start to see you differently. It's like planting a seed that grows into stronger family ties. Ready for the next way? It's about transforming how your kids see you, and it's a game changer. Stick around. All right, let's move to way number 2. Build a vibrant life of your own. This one's exciting, but it starts with a tough truth. If your world revolves around your grown kids, waiting for their calls, focusing only on their lives, they might start seeing you as less relevant. It's not that they don't love you, but when you don't have your own passions or activities, it's easy for them to take you for granted. I know this feeling too well. I used to sit by the phone, hoping my daughter would call. When she didn't, I felt like my days didn't matter. It was lonely, and it made me feel smaller in her eyes. But here's the shift. Research shows that active, engaged seniors earn admiration from those around them, including their kids. A 2022 study in the Gerontology Journal found that seniors who pursue hobbies or social activities are seen as more influential by their families. It makes sense. When you're out living your life, you're not just a dad. You're a man with stories, energy, and purpose. I saw this firsthand with John, a 75-year-old I met at a community event. John used to feel ignored by his grown kids. Then, he joined a choir through meetup groups. You know, that platform where you find local clubs and events. He started singing, meeting new friends, and sharing stories about his rehearsals. Suddenly, his kids were curious. They invited him over to hear about his performances. One even said, "Dad, you're inspiring us." John's vibrant life didn't just make him happier, it made his kids respect him more. So, how do you do this? Build a vibrant life by finding one thing that lights you up. It doesn't have to be big. Join a local club, maybe woodworking, golf, or a book group. If you're not sure where to start, check out community centers or online platforms like Meetup to find groups near you. I tried this myself. I signed up for a woodworking class, nothing fancy, carving wood with other seniors. I started sharing photos of my projects with my daughter, and she was amazed. She'd say, "Dad, you're building tables now?" It sparked new conversations, and she started calling more often. That's the magic. When you're excited about your life, your kids notice. Here's your action step. Try one new activity this week. It could be a walk with a neighbor, a fishing trip, or a coffee meetup. Share a story about it with your kids, even if it's small. Say, "I tried carving today, and I made a mess, but it was fun." That spark shows them you're more than just dad. You're a man with a life. If you're nervous, start small. I was shy at first, but showing up to that woodworking class changed everything. My daughter now asks about my projects, and it's brought us closer. You might wonder, what if I don't have time or energy? That's okay. Pick something low-key, like a book club that meets once a month. The point is to show your kids you're living fully, not waiting on them. This isn't about being selfish. It's about showing them a father they can admire. The next way is a mistake we all make, and fixing it will shift your family dynamic fast. Stay with me. Welcome back. We're on way number 3. Stop seeking your children's approval. This one's a trap I fell into, and it's so easy to miss. When you constantly ask your grown kids for their okay, on your clothes, your plans, even your hobbies, it sends a signal that you're not confident in your own choices. It's like handing them the reins to your life. And here's the tough part. That can make them see you as less authoritative, less worthy of respect. I used to do this with my daughter. I'd ask, "Is it okay if I join this club?" Or, "What do you think about my new hat?" I thought I was being collaborative, but really, I was giving away my power. It made me feel smaller, and I could tell she was starting to tune me out. But here's the shift that changed everything. Psychologists say self-respect is the foundation of earning others' respect. A 2023 study from the American Psychological Association found that when seniors act with independence, their families view them as stronger leaders. It's like a light bulb went off for me when I heard Clara's story. Clara, 70, used to run every decision by her daughter, from her budget to her weekend plans. She felt like she needed her daughter's approval to feel valid, but one day she decided to stop. She booked a weekend trip to a coastal town she'd always loved, without asking. She felt nervous but excited, When her daughter questioned it, Clara calmly said, "I'm excited about this and I'm going." That confidence stunned her daughter. A few weeks later, her daughter started asking Clara for advice on her own plans. By acting independently, Clara wasn't just reclaiming her life. She was earning her daughter's respect. So, how do you make this change? Stop seeking their approval by making one decision on your own this week. It could be small, like signing up for a local fishing class, or bigger, like rearranging your budget. Don't ask, "Is this okay?" Just do it. When you tell your kids, keep it light and confident. "I started fishing classes. It's been a blast." If they push back or question you, stand firm. Say, "This is something I'm doing for me." That quiet strength speaks volumes. I tried this myself. I stopped asking my daughter's opinion on my woodworking projects. Instead, I'd share, "I carved a birdhouse today. It's coming along." She started asking questions, and our talks felt more equal. It was like she saw me as a man again, not just her dad. If you're worried about seeming stubborn, don't be. This isn't about cutting your kids out. It's about showing them you trust your own judgment. Community activities like AARP's local meetups helped me build that confidence. Their events gave me courage to make my own choices. You can find groups like that at your local library or online. They're a great way to practice being your own advocate. This step is about reclaiming your independence, and it's powerful. When you stop needing their approval, your kids start seeing you as someone to admire. What's a decision you've been hesitating on? Comment number 3 below to share, and subscribe to keep learning these life-changing ways. The next one's surprisingly simple, but it's a game changer for your family dynamic. Let's keep going. All right, we're at way number 4. Lead with calm confidence. This one's a game changer, but it starts with a mistake we all make. When your grown kids push your buttons, maybe they're dismissing your advice or arguing about your choices, it's tempting to snap back or raise your voice. I've been there. I'd get frustrated when my son brushed off my suggestions, and I'd argue, thinking it'd make him listen. But it didn't. It just made him tune me out more. That kind of reaction pushes your kids away and makes them see you as less steady, less respectable. It's like shouting into a void. It doesn't work. But here's what does. Calm communication increases trust by 30% in family interactions, according to a 2023 Journal of Social Psychology study. It's about showing you're in control, not just of the conversation, but of yourself. I saw this with Thomas, a 73-year-old I met at a community center. His daughter used to complain about his old-fashioned habits, and he'd get defensive, arguing back. But Thomas decided to try something different. The next time she criticized him, he took a deep breath, looked her in the eye, and said, "I hear you, but this is how I do things." His calm tone caught her off guard. Over time, she started asking for his perspective instead of arguing. Thomas wasn't just staying cool. He was showing his daughter he was a rock she could rely on. So, how do you lead with calm confidence? It's simpler than you think. Next time your child challenges you, don't react right away. Take a slow breath, keep your voice steady, and maintain eye contact. Say something like, "I understand your point, but here's how I see it." Keep it short and firm. If they push, don't escalate. Just repeat your stance calmly. I practiced this with my son. When he questioned my schedule, I'd say, "This works for me," and leave it there. At first, he'd roll his eyes, but eventually, he respected my clarity. It felt like I'd reclaimed my voice. Here's a trick to make it easier. Practice in the mirror. Sounds silly, but it works. Stand in front of a mirror. Imagine your child arguing, and practice responding calmly. Say, "I hear you, but this is my choice." Notice your tone and posture. It builds muscle memory for confident responses. I did this before a tough talk with my son, and it made me feel like I was in the driver's seat. If you're nervous about staying calm, try a quick, deep breathing exercise before the conversation. Just inhale for 4 seconds, exhale for 4. It grounds you. You might be thinking, what if they keep arguing? That's okay. Stay calm and don't engage in a shouting match. If it gets heated, say, let's talk later when we're both calm, and walk away. That boundary shows strength. This isn't about winning an argument. It's about showing your kids you're steady and worthy of respect. When you lead with calm confidence, they start listening, really listening. The next way is all about opening hearts, and it's one of the most powerful tools you'll learn. Stick with me, you won't want to miss it. Welcome back. We're at way number 5. Communicate your feelings clearly. This one's close to my heart because it's where so many of us get stuck. When your grown kids dismiss you, interrupt, or act like you don't matter, it hurts. But here's the trap. Most seniors bottle up that pain. We stay quiet, hoping they'll notice, but they don't. I did this for years with my daughter. She'd cut me off mid-sentence, and I'd swallow my frustration, thinking, she's busy, she doesn't mean it. But that silence built a wall between us. It was like my feelings were invisible, and it made me feel less respected, less seen. The truth is, if you don't share your emotions, your kids can't know what's wrong, and that gap widens. But here's the good news. Expressing your feelings can rebuild those bridges. Research from the Journal of Family Relations in 2023 shows that when seniors share emotions openly, it strengthens family bonds. It's like opening a door to deeper understanding. I learned this from Mary, a 71-year-old I met at a senior coffee group. Mary's son used to ignore her calls, and it crushed her. She'd stay quiet, but one day, she decided to speak up. She called him and said, "I feel ignored when you don't pick up, and it makes me sad." Her voice was calm, not accusing. To her surprise, he apologized. He hadn't realized how much it hurt her. After that, he started calling more, and their talks felt warmer. Mary's story showed me that silence doesn't fix things. Clear, honest words do. So, how do you communicate your feelings clearly? It's simpler than it sounds. Use "I feel" statements to share what's on your heart. For example, if your child interrupts, say, "I feel sad when you cut me off because I want to share my thoughts." Keep it short, calm, and focused on your emotions, not their actions. Avoid blaming phrases like, "You always ignore me." That puts them on the defensive. Try this once this week. Pick a moment when you feel dismissed and say, "I feel hurt when this happens." I did this with my daughter. When she brushed off my advice, I said, "I feel unvalued when you don't listen." She paused, nodded, and we had a real talk. It wasn't perfect, but it was a start. If you're nervous about speaking up, here's a trick. Prepare beforehand. Write down your "I feel" statement and practice it out loud. It helps you feel steady. I also found that staying calm was key, especially when emotions run high. Apps like Calm helped me with this. Their short meditations, just 5 minutes, grounded me before tough talks with my daughter. Try deep breathing or a quick walk to stay calm. The goal is to speak from a place of clarity, not anger. You might wonder, what if they don't care? That's possible, but even then, expressing your feelings shows you value yourself. Over time, that self-respect shifts how they see you. This isn't about forcing them to change. It's about opening the door to a stronger connection. Have you ever tried sharing your feelings with your kids? Comment below to share your story, and subscribe for more tips. The next way is so simple, but it's a secret to turning respect around. Stay with me. All right, we're on way number 6. Model respect to receive it. This one's so simple, but it's powerful. Here's the tough truth. If you criticize your grown kids, lecture them, or point out their flaws, especially in front of others, they're likely to mirror that attitude back to you. I fell into this trap with my son. I'd nag about his messy garage or question his choices, thinking I was helping. But it backfired. He'd snap back or shut me out, and I could feel the respect slipping away. It was like we were stuck in a cycle of judgment, and it pushed us further apart. The hard part? I didn't even realize I was contributing to the problem. But here's the shift. Respect is a two-way street. Psychologists, in a 2023 American Psychological Association study, found that when seniors show respect to their family, if you treat your kids with kindness and value, they're more likely to return it. I saw this with Linda, a 74-year-old from my book club. Linda used to criticize her son's career choices, and he'd brush her off. But she decided to change. Instead of pointing out his mistakes, she started praising his efforts, like how hard he worked for his family. She'd say, "I'm so proud of how you juggle your job and still coach your daughter's soccer team." Her son noticed. He started sharing more about his life and even asked for her advice. By modeling respect, Linda wasn't just being kind, she was rebuilding their bond. So how do you model respect? Start by complimenting your kids regularly. Find one thing to praise each week, maybe their patience, their humor, or even a small win, like fixing a great meal. Say it sincerely. "I really admire how you handle stress." Avoid criticism, especially in public. If you disagree, talk privately and focus on understanding, not judging. For example, instead of saying, "Why don't you save more money?" try, "I'd love to hear about your plans." I tried this with my son. I stopped commenting on his cluttered garage and started saying, "I love how dedicated you are to your kids." He softened. Our conversations felt lighter, and he started valuing my input more. Here's a practical tip. Keep a mental note of your kids' strengths. Before you meet, remind yourself of one thing you admire about them. It shifts your mindset from critique. Say, "I didn't mean to judge, I'm proud of you." That humility shows respect too. I had to do this once after nagging my son. I said, "I'm sorry for focusing on the mess. You're doing so much." He smiled, and it reset our connection. You might be thinking, what if they don't deserve respect? Fair point. But this isn't about excusing bad behavior. It's about breaking the cycle. By showing respect, you set the tone for how you want to be treated. It's like planting seeds for a better relationship. The final way is a lifeline you'll wish you knew sooner, and it's all about finding strength when you feel alone. Let's keep going. Welcome back. We've made it to way number 7. Seek support from peers or professionals. This one's a lifeline, especially if you're feeling stuck. Here's the hard truth. Struggling with your grown kid's lack of respect can feel incredibly lonely. You might wonder, is it just me? Am I failing as a father? I felt this way when my son started dismissing me. I'd lie awake at night, replaying our talks, feeling like I was losing him. That isolation chips away at your confidence, and it makes it harder to stand up for yourself. When you're alone in those struggles, it's like carrying a weight that grows heavier every day. But here's the powerful shift. You don't have to carry it alone. Studies show that community support boosts self-worth, especially for seniors. A 2023 article in the Journal of Gerontology found that connecting with others facing similar challenges increases confidence and resilience. I saw this with David, a 70-year-old I met through a local group. David's kids treated him like his opinions didn't matter, and he felt defeated. He joined an AARP online forum, backed by a trusted organization with 38 million members, where seniors share advice. He found free articles and webinars on family dynamics, which gave him practical tips like setting boundaries. They gave him the courage to try. David started saying, I need you to listen when I speak to his kids. To his surprise, they noticed his new strength. His son even said, "Dad, you seem different." I like it. That support didn't just lift David's spirits. It helped him rebuild respect with his family. So, how do you seek support? Start by finding a community that gets you. It could be a local senior group, a church circle, or an online forum like AARP's. Try attending one meeting this month, just one. If your struggles feel deeper, consider talking to a professional. I was hesitant too, but after one session, I realized it was just a conversation with someone who helped me see clearly. They didn't judge, they listened, and that made all the difference. This step isn't about fixing your kids. It's about building your strength so you can show up as the father you want to be. And you don't have to do it alone. The final thoughts are coming next, and they just might inspire you more than anything so far. Wow, we've covered so much. You've learned 7 proven ways to regain respect from your grown children, from setting clear boundaries to seeking support from others. Each step is a small, powerful change that rebuilds love and respect in your family. This isn't about fighting or forcing your kids to change. It's about showing them the strong, wise man you are, someone they can't help but admire. I've seen it in my own life, and I know you can too. Here's your challenge. Pick one way to try this week. Maybe pause when your child interrupts, or share an "I feel" statement, like, "I feel hurt when you don't listen." Start small, and watch how it shifts your family dynamic. These steps are like seeds. Plant them now, and they'll grow into stronger bonds for years to come. Did these ways spark hope for you? Comment number 7 below to share which one you'll try, and let's keep this conversation going. If you found value in this, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss more tips for thriving as a senior. Share this video with a friend or your kids. It could spark a new conversation and bring you closer. And remember, you're not just a father or a grandfather. You're a man with wisdom, worth, and a story that still matters. Don't let anyone make you feel invisible. You've got this. Take that first step and watch your family grow closer. I'm rooting for you.